It's a pleasant good morning to this week's final edition of the Star Good Morning Show here on Star Television. We broadcast live from our Media One Center, 3 Norma Street, Brookfields in Freetown. My name is Abdul Rahman Kaba. Top stories in the program. A member of the Board of Trustees and working group for the Tijan Kaba Foundation, Dr. Sheku Sese, has outlined plans to have the foundation launched on June 16 at the Buntimani International Conference Hall in Freetown, reflecting on the achievements of the late president. The Sierra Leone Association of Persons with Albinism, in collaboration with Christian Lawyers Center, otherwise known as Legal Link, as on Thursday 13 June 2019, celebrates the International Albinism Day in Sierra Leone with the theme Still Standing Strong at the Afrisal American Corner, Battle Street in Freetown. And we shall also be looking at where the head of the Criminal Investigation Department at the Sierra Leone Police, Gabriel Tomi, on Thursday, June 13, 2019, held an interactive session forum with car dealers to outline plans on how to mitigate the rampant thefts in the city. My guest in the studio is Bashir Uthula, who is a social service officer from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs. He is here to talk to me much more on their plans for a celebration of this year's June 16. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. My pleasure being here.
Great. Remember, you can catch us live on YouTube, and also we are live on Facebook. The Star Good Morning Show is proudly sponsored by Local Commercial Bank.
Did you say you want to talk to me?
Yes, my brother. I get stress, bank stress. I need money right. So I put money in my bank, no problem. So I put money in my bank, no problem. I was up in a line all day just for put money and pull money. And the loan system, look me business, they go down the drain. We not get loan system. Me, I just tired.
Now that's the stress you.
Yes, my brother. Now me stress standing.
Let that not be stress. Because me your bank where the bank when I Local Commercial Bank, when are the award-winning bank for 2018, where they don't win so many awards inside Freetown and even self outside Salon. Yes, they even recognize them at the international world as they win one of the most prestigious awards from Nigeria as the best corporate bank na Salon. They don't even count financial inclusion, where it means they want to involve everybody in a Salon. Never mind the kind of business way they do. If na pepper self they sell in the market or any other petty business they do, then even self they don't left their comfort zone for going to bonds. When at the island, where you don't say where people that avoid for the banking business, they don't go there for let the people themselves they part of the financial inclusion within the part. And self they get plenty other products where you go able meet you day-to-day needs. Then gets like the keke account. When for them boys and whether they ride the keke them. And self then gets the Osusu account. Then get MasterCard, other platform that they will take money like SimCorp. When a new banking system where they don't count. The business now inside your phone they go out. You know, you no need for go, you need to snap a long queue. As then at the award-winning bank, they want to maintain that standard and they want to satisfy the customers. Let them make sure say everybody can inside the bank system. Then nobody not left out. Now for can't open account to them, it's simple. You 50,000, 100,000, you're okay.
Thank you, my brother. I need for one go now Local Commercial Bank right now. I be no drink so now, this is good news.
Local Commercial Bank, mama. Local Commercial Bank, bank with Local Commercial Bank, #1. Bank with Local Commercial Bank, #1.
Welcome back from that commercial break, where we move along with the program. The head of the Criminal Investigations Department at the Sierra Leone Police, Gabriel Tomi, on Thursday, June 13, 2019, held an interactive dialogue forum with car dealers to outline plans on how to mitigate the rampant thefts in the city. My colleague Hassan Koroma has the details of this report.
The rate of vehicle fraud, among other things, over the past months has been on the increase. These complaints mostly emanate from the capital Freetown. This was confirmed at a press briefing organized at the Criminal Investigations Department conference room at their headquarters in Freetown. Addressing pressmen at the Criminal Investigations Department, the head of CID, Gabriel G. M. Tomi, said the rationale for holding the news conference is to get onto the public that the police is now contending with a new form of crime, which is car theft and mobile theft, noting that there are lots of criminals pretending to be genuine.
The rationale behind the press conference is to get home to the public, for the press to help escalate the information to the public that the police is now contending with a new form of crime, which is car theft and mobile theft. So we want the public to be aware that a lot of criminals are out there who, in the guise of being genuine business people, take vehicles, stolen vehicles to them, take money from them, and at the end of it, there is the challenge between the owner of the vehicle and the person who pays money for the vehicle. So we want the public to be informed that this is what a lot of people are doing. People go around car centers. They usually, when somebody wants to put out a car for sale, the person writes the contact number on the vehicle. So these 419ers or criminals, they go and take the contact number, they call the person and tell the person that we are interested in buying this vehicle. In the meantime, they then will contact somebody that there is a vehicle for sale. So the person who owns the vehicle will get in touch with the criminal, and the criminal pretends that he's a genuine person, goes out with the owner of the car to this unsuspecting buyer. So the unsuspecting buyer negotiates in exclusion of the true owner of the vehicle, negotiates with the criminal and pays money for the said car far, far below the actual cost of the vehicle, which in fact is the means that they use to bait the potential buyer to accept the deal. So once the money is paid to the criminal disappears from the scene and leaves the seller and the buyer and the car owner in disagreement as to whether to go away with the car or to leave the car, because the owner will say, no, I have not sold this car, but the buyer will say, yes, I have paid for this car through so person. So that is why we want the public to be aware that if someone goes to you for sale of cars, tell the persons that we want to see the importation document, the document pertaining to this vehicle, and let them produce that before you enter into any transaction between them.
He revealed, among other things, the serious concern raised by people buying second-hand items, especially those doing businesses at the Belgium, noting that most businessmen bought second-hand items without knowing the actual source. Gabriel Tommy, however, called on all those buying second-hand items, especially those at Belgium, to ask for proper documents before paying for such items.
No rush for buying vehicle. If you look at vehicle, when you know, say, this is worth $15,000, somebody tell you, say, give me 5,000, something is wrong. Don't put your money. No, now the only way that they're able to play on the intelligence of people there with low price. Because when at 10,000 say I will give for 3,000, you fall for the bait.
Explaining on how to assess whether items are being stolen, the Deputy Head of Crime Management, Superintendent Robert, maintained that most victims are intelligent and prominent personalities that are mostly carried away by the baits of these fraudsters.
Mobile theft. This mobile, it can take countless number of SIM at different times, even though now one mobile. I will put one SIM inside here, I use them, I pull them, I put another one. Per day I will use them, I will use 50 SIM inside. But the capability of this mobile, where it will help with my investigation is that each SIM where it go here, when you pull at it, there is an identical number where it is inside this SIM, this phone. The phone gets number. When any call, when they call out from any SIM, that number, this phone is number, they go in the database. It's that SIM they will use for call. So now so they use, and it means that what they use for find out, even when you don't tip somebody, they don't tip somebody in phone,
They don't go sell am to you. Then they pull the seed inside the trolley and when they begin look at the color, they find out say so number of seed don't go inside this phone. When they begin look at the IME number, they call it IME. The number, that is the permanent number in this phone.
For Star News in Freetown, Hassan Koma reporting.
Thanks so much to Hassan Kurma for putting that report together. My guest in the studio is Bashir Othula, a social service officer from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs. He's here to talk to me much more on the ministry's preparation for this year's African Child's Day. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning again. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah. What is in store for this year's preparation for the African Child's Day? Is it business as usual?
Yes, I would say so. Though the trajectory is a bit going to change this year's commemoration day of the African Child. The annual Children's Conference is going to take place at the St. Edward's Preschool Hall. The difference we have with regards to this year's celebration is it has been happening, but I think it died out of maybe improper preparation or supervision. It's the Children's Governance and Children Festival. These are new invents into the DAC. So in the Children's Governance Program, we are going to have children occupying key government positions. We want to see how we can encourage children to participate in governance issue.
A kind of simulation exercise?
Simulation, of course, yes.
As it used to be during the days
during
of
the
NPRC?
Correct.
Are
yes.
you still encouraging children to do likewise?
We want to see how we can moderate what used to happen then. We want to see how we can properly supervise them. You agree with me that children will inevitably take after us, after we have left. So it's high time we started encouraging them to see how they can take part in governance issues, how they can really understand what is going on, and see how they can be better citizens in the future.
And by logical extension, this should have been seen as a kind of theoretical model, where you inculcate the values of leadership into them rather than giving them the opportunity to come sit in my studio, to take the seat of the president, to take the seat of the Minister of Information, the Minister of Trade, assuming they are in position.
What we are going to train them. Assuming that they are in this position will help to inspire them. It will help to even inspire other children that if I work hard, if I become educated, I will occupy such position in the future. They are not going to take those seats officially as maybe the public have been assuming.
Mm-hmm.
They are going there as a kind of mock representative of those people that are there, in order to inspire them to continue to work hard, so that they themselves can be part of us. We want child participation. We want to see how we can distract them from this activity that they will be doing that is not beneficial to them at all. We want to see how they can come on board. On the area, theoretically, the CFN and other children, they are school-going children. They know about these issues. So we want to see how they can practicalize them, how we can bring them issues of corruption. We've been telling them in schools, listening to that on radio, on TV. But we want to see how they themselves now can come on board and work.
The general or the public impression out there is for the ministry to have tailored or rather model a situation where the celebration should be inclusive. But we've seen where there are a kind of selective show of concern over the years. You look at other schools, the way they celebrate the June 16, it's just for them to come together, have a kind of noisy jollification. And that's the end, rather than telling them the significance of that particular day, like having a public lecture to inculcate the values of leadership and telling the suffering of their colleagues they went through in South Africa, then the Soweto incident and all of those things. Those are the public expectation. Why is it that you guys seem to have swayed a little bit off from track?
Yes, I agree with you that there have been challenges in previous commemoration of the Day of the African Child. But we have been making great strides because all the celebration, it's been inclusive. I remember last year we did it in Bo, and before that it was in Cambia, Kwenadugu. So it's rotational across the district in the country. Notwithstanding that, it's good that children in schools, other organizations, they have their own unique way of commemorating the day. It's not only, yes, it's in reflection of what's happening in South Africa, but we want to see how children, how everybody can come on board and see what is affecting the children of this country in their own community, localization, or in their own ways, so that they can help raise awareness in that particular locality, for government to take action, or for them to see how they can enhance the welfare of children.
I bring you to the point where if your intention is to localize the celebration, you would have worked in tandem with the Ministry of Education, where perhaps they would design policies as to how the children could get themselves, having this day celebrated.
Child protection is
Again, the question: how will you ensure that children in my hometown, Matotoka, in the Tonkolele districts, could benefit from this celebration? How will you ensure children in Jerohun, in the Bo districts, could have a feel of this particular day?
Child protection and welfare generally is a multi-dimensional approach. That's how I used to look at it. You cannot handle the welfare of a child from just the social welfare aspect. You have to think about the health, education, mental health, psychosocial, and all the rest of it. So during our child protection pillar meeting, education is part of it. Mm-hmm. We are there. So even with the children in governance activity, we inform them to give us children from schools. They'll come, child protection organization will come, we'll all sit together. The meeting is always a regular meeting, ongoing meeting, not only for a DAC. Every Thursday at the meeting, we have a child protection meeting. So what we discuss here, what partners will come on board with, is what government is going to work towards. So children from the provinces, we are going to have 2 representatives from each district. 2 from each district coming to Freetown to prepare that position paper that the children themselves will be presenting to His Excellency to see what they want. This year's theme for the commemoration of the Day of the African Child is Humanitarian Action in Africa, Children's Rights.
That's a theme.
Yeah, that's a theme.
Mm-hmm. I just wanted to ask you.
Yes, Children's Right First. Mm-hmm. And we try to localize it at Pan Pikin Right Business Salon. Real Business Salon, we put Pikin Rights before. So each district is going to have representative of 2 children, a boy and a girl. And as I seated here, as I'm talking to you, they are on their way now. Preparation I've made for them to come to Kingston to see how they can represent their district. And notwithstanding that, the ministry is decentralized across districts and regional level. And they are also holding the Day of the African Child there at their own unique way. We also, we've given the people to organization, different organization, community to see how they can raise awareness. All we want to see is to raise awareness not only for this day, the Day of the African Child, but for a continuous, awareness raising, so that people can be aware about the welfare, the rights and protection of children generally in the country.
Okay. Again, the day falls on Sunday.
Yes.
Will the celebration take place that particular day, or it's going to be shifted on Monday?
It's on Monday.
It's on Monday.
It is going to be shifted on Monday, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure that's a public holiday. I'm not sure.
No, it's not. It's not going to be a public holiday. The children, because Sunday the offices of the presidency or public offices generally will not be accessible on that day, so we've decided to shift it on Monday. But the children conference will take place on Sunday at the St. Edward's Preschool Hall. That we have a church service. We're going to have a Thanksgiving, have a church service as well. All the children that will be coming from the province and other children within the Western area are also invited. We can go there to see how we can get. Today we have a Friday service as well. We'll go to Central Mosque to see how we can encourage the religious leaders as well. Like you say, we don't want to see it as business as usual. We want to see how everybody can come on board, religious, community, local admin chiefs, so how we can come on board
Bashiru Tula,
to promote
how
child welfare
challenging,
protection.
how challenging dealing with children's issue? You've been a social service officer in the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs.
It's quite challenging. I would say challenging. Children being a unique being, coming from different background. I'm the facilitator of the Children from Network as well. It's quite, but I will tell you again, we should not underestimate the potentials of these children. They really know the issues, especially the ones that are going to school, even the vulnerable ones. If you bring them here now and tell you what they've gone through, you will surprise at them. So it's challenging, but also very much quite interesting in working with children. And I want to use this medium, I want to talk to people. The children, the problem with this country is really a child protection issue. If we can encourage the children, if really we can give them what they want, I tell you, we'll have a better country. Oftentimes when you sit with them...
How can we get to that point when, where perhaps over the years, the public impression out there is that successive governments and even the current administration seem to be paying lip service to problems often associated with children?
This idea of children in governance, now we are going to maybe roll it out as children in governance and administration. It's not only going to be limited there. That itself is a laudable, it's what His Excellency himself proposed. Because of the mishappenings in the past, we've decided to kick that out. But His Excellency looked at it and said, no, we want to see how we can bring the children, teach them. If you are a director of Children's Affairs, let the children know what you are doing. They should know, so that after school, if a child wants to become the director of Children's Affairs or a journalist being seated there, it will not be something strange to them. And if you teach them the good tenets and ideals of these places, obviously that is what they are going to do. But oftentimes, like for me after college, you just come and assume position and you start working that traditional model they've been doing. So we want to see how we can get them on board. Participation generally. If let's say Don Bosco, for instance, you encourage the children in what you're doing, Variety, UNICEF, Save the Children, who have so many children at least participating in these child protection activities in this organization. So that will help to distract them in these cliques and other violence activities they are engaging in schools and places they are. So that is what we want to see this time around. That's how we want to change the trajectory.
One thing that has been conspicuously absent over the years is telling them what to do without, nurturing their sense of responsibility as to how they should get committed in undertaking country affairs. That is to say, their responsibility. They have their roles they should play in society, but what their responsibilities are, all of those things don't seem to be going in tandem.
Yes, children's rights and responsibility, because most of them are assuming that my right.
Mm-hmm.
That's
and
what we
fail to know their
responsibility as well. That's what we even told them. We said we have been looking at you, because most of them we are thinking that because I'm president of CFN, I am going to be His or Her Excellency on that day. We said no, we will look at some other vulnerable child, somebody that the general CFN or children populace recommend to us is not business as usual. That because you are the Secretary General, we are going to give you this and that position. We want to see how they can be responsible in handling. That's why we've tied attachment to these activity opportunity we're giving to them, so that they can work towards it and be responsible citizens. Obviously, we are promoting their rights, and we don't want to be that hard on them. We want to see how we can continue to encourage them. So that's why we gave attachment to these positions, and even other opportunities, travelings. And if you want to come to the ministry on a Thursday meeting to take part in it and to see how the ministry can encourage you, you want email, you want ID card, you want a tag, you have to behave well. You have to be a role model for other children in society. So we are giving these attachment to see how we can change them as well.
Mr. Tula, I tell you what, I am in restless readiness to see who will assume the position of the Chief of Defense Staff on Monday by way of simulating the responsibilities. I really want to see who is going to play the role of the Inspector General of Police. I want to see who is going to play the role of the First Lady in the country, and equally so, perhaps the Chief Minister and by extension, the President.
You know, it's the same. It's same. People were saying this to even with child protection partners, but I told them don't underestimate these children. They know the issue and they can surprise you. You saw what happened at the Bintu Manitri. That is the president. Mariam Samai is the president of the Children from Network. You know, a lot of people. The Children from Network is a leading child organization in the country, but a lot of people don't know about CFN. It's only under the how that, you know, child trail they hold there. So we have a lot of them, and I'll tell you, they can. You surprised on that they will be trailed on that day to see how the children knows the issue and how they can, you know, deliver to the nation. So that is how we want to continue to see them. But really, these children in government, the commemoration is not only limited to that. Excuse me, to see how children can just take administrative position. We want to see how children, also the children festival, we have the children festival activity. Children also with other talents, not only administration, children who can weave, carve, mime, read poems, drama. You know, it will be taking place just after the Advocates and Miata conference earlier. They can come on, but we want to see how we can encourage them with good talent. You come and display your talent in front of other children, in front of child protection partners, and see, we'll look at that talent and see maybe how we can talk. If you have talent in the media, we talk to people from the media. If you have talent in weaving, we see how we can encourage people in that aspect to see how you can develop that as well. So we are going to encourage the children festival.
I'm practically
activity.
keen to know how, as a nation, we can get an edge over some of the accompanying challenges often associated with children, by way of collaboration, looking at the three strands: the family, the school, and the larger society. That brings me to the aspect of socialization. How can we morph our efforts together to ensure that we molded them the way we wanted them?
The ministry, I will tell the public, you know, has made tremendous strides with regard that way. The Child Protection Committee meeting is ongoing at the ministry there. So the Ministry of Education is always part of it. There has been challenges, especially when it comes to the community. We have the Child Welfare Committee across community level. They have been working with parents, religious leaders, and even community stakeholders to see that they are also part of that committee meeting. We'll call them during the meeting on Thursday. We'll tell them that this is what we want for children in the community, and they will go to the imam. This and what has been discussed at social welfare, and this, try and see how you can replicate it in your sermon so that the community will have it. And they also used to have their own meeting, but there has been, I will tell you, there has been challenges in that aspect. It's very, very key, and the only way I think we can handle it is through, you know, medium like this, to see how we can sensitize this, you know, the public, in see how we can enhance the welfare of children. I was telling people during another forum in the World Day Against Child Labor that it's a community problem. The child labor is a community problem. Social welfare, the Child Rights Act, the laws are good, but people think that, you know, having children working as apprentices in auto mechanic, in farms, they think it's normal. So it's only when we engage parents, we engage the community to see that these things are bad, you know, popularize the Child Rights Act, that we are going to achieve much in these areas.
Okay, stay with me. He is Bashir Fuller, Social Service Officer from the Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs. And what a nice coincidence, as we have on Sunday the launch of the ATK Foundation, that is Ahmed Tijan Kaba Foundation, where I spoke to a member of the Board of Trustees and Working Group, Dr. Shaku Sese, who has outlined plans to have the foundation launch on the day at the Beauty Money International Conference Hall in Freetown, reflecting on the achievements of the late president. When he visited our studios, he spoke to me in this interview.
The best way to remember President Kaba, in our view, is to create or establish a foundation, the Ahmed Tijan Kaba Foundation for Peace and Democracy, because for the post-war period, the post-rebel period, President Kaba was truly the architect of democracy and good governance and peace in Sierra Leone. There is no doubt about that. And if we create this legacy, it will almost be a living gift to the people of Sierra Leone to remember a man who sacrificed a lot. If there is a way we should really remember Pakaba in a nutshell, I use the word Pakaba because most people in Sierra Leone, if not all, remember him as Pakaba, a father of Sierra Leone, is to really think about the peace he created and the democratic institutions he installed in this country, which today are forming the foundations of our progress and our economic development. In looking at Pakaba and his achievements, his service to this country, you have a few opinions, you have varying opinions. But overall, the opinion about the achievements of Pakaba were very positive.
We Sierra Leoneans, patriotic Sierra Leoneans, are very, very grateful to those foreign forces led by Nigeria who are there at the moment trying to restore law and order and to protect the law-abiding citizens of our country. And I hope my people in Sierra Leone who may be listening to this will understand that my purpose of calling the Nigerians was really to save us, and the international community as a whole was to save us, and that the ECOWAS troops that are there to save us, to bring about law and order, and not to attack them. Certainly, their targets will not be civilians and or other installations. Their targets will be the military and the rebels that have sworn to destroy our country.
Honestly, as I said in the beginning, we created or we're trying to establish this foundation, which our president, His Excellency Mada Bio, has agreed to launch, to really create a living memory of this great man. Some of the things that really characterized his tenure of office were he was a peace builder. He brought people together. I think this is one of the things wherein we really can remember and pay a lot of credit to this great man. And that is why we are creating this foundation, this Ahmed Tijan Kaba Foundation for Peace and Democracy. Ambassador Sule Darami, Ajay, and Matia, and Aja went to Makeni to formally invite the president to attend the launching of the foundation. And let me say here that he was very pleased that in fact we had taken this move, and he indicated that he would attend the launching. He saw this as a continuation of that good relationship between him and Pakaba. And believe me, if I may also add here, that I think there was a large group of APC members in McKinney at that point, and they all indicated clearly that they would like to attend this particular launching. And for us in the foundation, well, we're very pleased that we have a foundation for peace and democracy. If by this launch, by our own president, we're able to bring former presidents, including our own former president here, we see it as a good beginning for peace. The foundation itself will be launched on Sunday, the 16th of June, in the late afternoon. We shall make a press release onto the exact dates. But what is certain is that it will be launched by our president, His Excellency Mada Bio. There will be former presidents. President Obasanjo has indicated that he will be here. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has indicated that she will be here. There are far more galaxy of personalities that will be here to pay honor and homage to a great African leader.
Is Dr. Sheku Sese a member of the Board of Trustees and working group for the Ahmad Tijan Kaba Foundation, ending that interview with me here on Star Television. Bashir, let's look at areas where perhaps the ministry has been able to identify where these children will stimulate their roles in governance.
We have identified key government positions. We've sent letters. Of course, the presidency and vice presidency position are key. The chief minister you made mention of. But we've sent letters to these offices to see how they can, to tell us the protocols in this place so that the children will not find it strange to see. Most of them have replied that they want to see the children, because we are expecting that the children that are going there will come and explain to their colleagues what's really the land, what they're expecting, so that other children will learn.
For the rest of the day?
No, it could not be for the rest of the day, because they'll be coming to me at a conference on that Monday to inspire their colleagues as well. Because you being the president on that day, or she being the president on that day, other children will want to also emulate them, and so we want to see how they can. Also, the media want to have access to them on that day to get the feeling about the position they are occupying. So they will be coming, and they will be there after they come, they will go again to the office to learn about the protocol, to learn about the administration general in those offices, because we are expecting them to come back and tell us what they learn in that office and what are the experiences, so that their colleague maybe will be eager, be inspired, and learn from it too also.
I am looking at a situation where our society is heading for a very delicate moment in terms of foreign influence, what perhaps many sociologists could refer to as the aspect of acculturation, where you inculcate foreign values into your own values here. The use of the social media is becoming a challenging aspect now, not using it for its right purpose. There are bad influences in there. What are you doing to actually mitigate the impact of those social menaces that seem to be confronting us as a nation? Of recent we saw where a student taking the WASC exam went haywire just because they felt deprived of not letting the authorities to allow them to spy or cheat in exams.
It's been challenging of recent, but I will come to that as time progresses. You saw with what you just mentioned, we are in children, we are on streets, on social media, we have the photos, but the children from network came up with a press release on that as well, condemning that act. Yes, condemning that act. What was unfortunate, I will tell the public, was that we never saw anything from news, and the children from network at they tried their best to see how they could get to the leadership of news to condemn that act, to see that at least as students they should work hard, be law-abiding, respectful. Then the examination, of course, is not it's not meant for that. How he said the free education initiated by His Excellency is not relevant, and they should remove it. They should allow you to cheat in exam. No. So you see, the Children from Network, being the child organization, saw it timely that time. This is bad, and they should, put a stop to it immediately. So that was why, and that press release is as a result of a training that somebody gave them then, but this training has not been forthcoming. That's what I'm saying. So we want to encourage media practitioners, other institutions, to see how they can. It's ongoing. Encourage the children. You teach them about media ethics, social media communication in general. We used to have Save the Children coming on board, but it has been challenging, and other institutions as well. They used to come to the ministry, organize this training for the children. But for us as a ministry, if you are, of course, we do allow that you can be on the Facebook, but to monitor you. CFN has a Facebook account, all the rest of it. We monitor your behavior on social media to see what you post, encourage them that, this and this are not, as a child, this and this are not encouraging. Even on the status, of course, your privacy, it's private, but status, we please want to see especially political and other things. As a child, you should please stay away from this, concentrate on your education. APC, that is not your business for now. We used to admonish them on things like that. So go to school, concentrate on education. So you should not be posting things about, this social media thing that's going on about political violence and all the rest of it. So, we are on the right track, but we want to encourage the media and other institutions to be providing training on this aspect on them, because you are expert in it.
Okay. Stay with me in the studio is Basil Tola. We don't seem to be having much time left in the studio. Let me take another insert here. The Sierra Leone Association of Persons with Albinism, in collaboration with Christian Lawyer Center, I beg your pardon, otherwise known as Legal Link, as on Thursday, 13 June 2019, celebrates the International Albinism Day in Sierra Leone with the theme Still Standing Strong at the Africell American corner, Battle Street in Freetown. My colleague Admiral Samai has details of this report.
Albinism is an inherited genetic condition that reduces the amount of melanin pigment found in the skin, hair, and eyes. It occurs in all racial and ethnic groups throughout the world. The founder and director of the Sierra Leone Association of Persons with Albinism, Mohamed Usman Kamara, reiterated that on the 18th of December 2014, the General Assembly adopted Resolution 69-170 proclaiming 13th June as International Albinism Awareness Day. And it is the day to recognize, celebrate, and stand in solidarity with persons with albinism around the world.
One, they must see the change to be effective in every region, every country. This action plan entails certain rules, certain regulations, certain things that will prepare for people with albinism to better their life in terms of education, social inclusion, health care, and I must state, our health is very paramount because we are visually impaired. Visually impaired doesn't mean we are blind, but we have short-sightedness. A lot of dropouts are right now roaming the street in the song selling because of their dropout, because of their sight. Because if you're not seeing well, like if you cannot see properly when sitting at the back, definitely you will just be discouraged and stop going to school. So albinism is it's a genetic issue that the gene must be present in both parents for them to produce a person with albinism. Because if the gene is just present in one person and the other doesn't have it, definitely they won't be able to produce a person with albinism. So we want to change the narrative that when you give birth to a person with albinism, that the parent, one of the parents, more the father, the guy, the male, they normally leave the kids with their mother, and then they say, "This is not my child."
Dr. Mary Ban, palliative care doctor at the Connaught Hospital, while giving a statement, said, "Until you stand strong, you also have to stand healthy," which our area of medicine is helping people with advanced disease, and advise all persons with albinism to go to the Connaught Hospital whenever they have skin disease.
So my area of medicine is really helping people with advanced disease, which maybe we can't actually help find a cure because the disease is too advanced, but we can certainly do a lot to help symptom management, make sure they're free from pain, vomiting, breathlessness, other discomforts, and improve their quality of life for as long as possible. So often I see patients when they've had disease a long time and they may have tried some treatments that has not been successful, or they may not have been able to find available treatments. But for this issue of skin cancer for people with albinism, I don't want to see any patients in my area of specialisation, because these are patients who can be spotted early and treated early and avoid getting to the stage where they might need someone like me to help them. So obviously for some that will always be necessary, and we will always be there wanting to help them. So what I really want to re-emphasise some of the messages already said by Usman, that if you have albino skin, or you know somebody in your family or in your community, or you see a family with a young child with albinism, you know that their skin is vulnerable to the sun. They don't have the protection that you have when you have melanin in the skin causing a dark skin.
The Executive Director, Legal Link, Rashid Doumbouya, while giving a public lecture on the theme, "Still Standing Strong," he reiterated that the team has been chosen as the international team for this year's International Albinism Awareness Day celebrations, which is to recognize, celebrate, and stand in solidarity with persons with albinism around the world to support their cause, their accomplishments, as well as their challenges, and to promote and protect their fundamental human rights.
We are being faced by persons with albinism coupled with increased momentum and outcry for their protection across the world. The UN Human Rights Council adopted a resolution in 2013. It's called Resolution 2313, calling for the prevention of attacks and discrimination against persons with albinism around the world. Consequently, on the 18th of December 2014, the UN General Assembly heeded to the call and adopted Resolution 69-170, proclaiming 13th June as International Albinism Awareness Day.
For Star TV News in Freetown, I am Adma Samai reporting.
Thanks so much to my colleague Adma Samai for putting that report together. Bashir Tola, we don't seem to be having much time left in the studio. What is going to be your conclusive statements calling on the children to get themselves behaved and ready for this year's celebration?
I want to assure the children and general public that we have the best leadership now, in this ministry, in that ministry, since I entered that ministry. So the ministry is entirely open. Initially when we started this DAC commemoration, there has not been especially you agree with me, the challenges with regards funding from government and other partners. So she told us that we should make use of what we have and ensure that community and whosoever want to participate be on board. So the ministry is open. If you think you want to participate in this DAC, you can come on board and see how the ministry can give you technical or direct you to other partners to see how you can commemorate the day on your own aspect. So with the children, the day is your day. We are encouraging you all to come to the ministry on Monday, at the Advocacy Day at Miata Conference Hall. Everyone is invited, everyone, including the children. And the children's conference, children that will be coming from the provinces and those in the western area, and other children are also invited on a Sunday to come to the St. Edward's Preschool Hall and see how we can discuss the way forward for children in this country.
Bashir Tola, Social Services Officer, Ministry of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs, I want to thank you so much for honoring this invitation, being part of this final edition for this week's program, The Good Morning Show.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to having a subsequent edition.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Until then, this is how I draw the curtain into this edition of the program. with my guests, Bashir Ruthullah, Social Service Officer, Minister of Social Welfare, Gender and Children Affairs. My name is Abdul Rahman Kamara. Have a wonderful, bright weekend.